Hello, everyone. Adrian Groenewald, Me Vision Academy. What a privilege to be with you again, to hand a Successful Leader Award to someone who absolutely deserves it and has earned it. And I can't wait to introduce him. What do we do? We're mobilizing successful leaders by countries, sectors, and levels of organizations. So successful leaders are not just at the very top, but we are also mobilizing people who have found their purpose because we think that ignites leadership, and also emerging leaders. Emerging leaders, the future. And we're also doing all of this by countries, sectors, and levels so that we can transform leadership standards globally. And there are very good reasons for that. So today, one of my key activities, and what a privilege to do it, is to hand this Successful Leader Award to Iain Williamson. He's the Group Chief Executive of Old Mutual, a household brand. And he was nominated by Dr. Louise van Rijn. We're so grateful for that. Louise, thank you. Iain, welcome.
Thank you, Adrian. Lovely to be here.
And absolutely congratulations. But before we do that, I'm going to hand the award and then I'll say formally congratulations. Let me just share screens here. All right. And this is at least what you're receiving it for: recognition of successful leadership awarded to Iain Williamson for your steady leadership of Old Mutual through periods of organizational transformation and economic uncertainty. I think you were the CEO during COVID, for example, one of many examples. Your strategic vision, innovation, and commitment to ethical and inclusive leadership. And I know you're doing lots of things through your brand, through your leadership position to change people's lives in many ways. And then finally, your legacy of financial resilience, innovation, and leadership excellence. I have no doubt also your willingness to mentor, coach, develop the future generation. That's something that's very near to our heart. And it's my privilege as one of the co-founders of Me Vision Academy, A Journey to Best Self, to sign it. And that's when we say officially, congratulations, Iain. Very often leadership awards don't just come, you work your backside off, and it's good to get it from external sources, perhaps. So well done, well done.
Oh, thank you very much. I feel humbled actually to have been recognized in this way, and particularly for Louise to have nominated me, who I admire very highly.
What is the essence of successful leadership?
I think ultimately, I think it is situational, but in a big corporate context, I think it's ultimately about creating clarity, and particularly clarity of shared purpose for everybody in the organization. And then just being consistent around almost, they talk about writing in the snow, to just keep people engaged, to unpack what you mean and to make sure that people are actually clear. And if the purpose is right, then I think people become inspired behind that to give of themselves, to give more of themselves, to contribute to that higher order outcome that you're seeking to achieve. So in our case, we created a purpose around becoming our customers' first choice, to show up in their lives, to provide solutions to the problems that they face every day. And I think that really galvanized the organization behind that purpose. And then, the detail after that you can fill in, but that for me, that's a critical piece. And I really do think that if you can unlock discretionary effort from people and unlock that passion in them for doing something more than the obvious day to day, then you're winning.
Yeah. Iain, I mean, obviously getting to a shared purpose can be challenging. It's not an overnight thing, but I can imagine making sure consistently that it's clear on different levels in every role. I guess that's your job then every day, you and your team. Communicate. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that is absolutely fair to say. And look, I don't think I've always done a great job of it either. There've been times along the way where you feel like you've kind of lost people a little bit. And it's really about then bringing it back and reminding everybody of the connection of, what you're doing every day to that ultimate purpose, so that there's that connection between the doing on a day-to-day basis, which can sometimes feel hard and sometimes feel like there's unnecessary obstacles in the way. Yeah. And that link so that people are motivated to continue to push through the obstacles and the hard times and the difficulties to get there.
Ian, you started your career as an actuary, right?
Correct. Yeah.
When did it, because what happens typically is you then move into leadership positions and eventually maybe you realize I'm actually a leader, I'm not an actuary anymore. When did it dawn on you that your career shifted in a way, that you're not a professional in that sense anymore, you're now a professional leader, that's your primary responsibility? Is it something that dawned, or was it just a slow occurrence over many years?
I think it was more, in my case, and it's probably different for everybody. In my case, I think it was more of an evolution of, you start managing small teams of people, then bigger and bigger teams of people until the technical part of your job becomes something that's not that important anymore on a day-to-day basis. It's always useful to have a deep-seated knowledge of the engineering of your business, so that you can ask the right questions and seek to understand and make sure you hopefully impart some experience to other people as you go. But I think for me, first of all, it was an evolution. Secondly, I think that pivot from primarily content to primarily more of a leadership role probably happened 20 years ago, so quite a long time.
And then from then on, you become a student of leadership a little bit more than you were before, and you do courses maybe, or read books, or you just become more aware of leadership.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you also become curious about what makes people tick. How do I think about how I get the best out of a team, and really starting to be quite conscious about building teams, building the fabric of the team, building a sense of cohesion, a sense of direction. And I'd like to think I've spent a good chunk of my time in the last 10 years on sort of those issues more than anything else.
I'm interested, maybe almost a final question, is very close anyway, is you mentioned shared purpose in the business context, Iain. Do you think that you personally, and if you have, tell us what it is, have you personally found your purpose as a human being? Why are you on earth? Has that become clear to you over the years?
I don't think I'm quite there, to be honest. I think I've had a purpose in the context of my role at Old Mutual for a long time.
Okay.
And fortunately, I mean, I've been at Old Mutual for 32 years now. One of the reasons I've been there so long is that my personal values and organizational values are very congruent, which I think is helpful. So I think finding that purpose around for the organization, which became deeply seated into my personal way of thinking about things, very much centered around customer well-being, customer outcomes, a better way of doing things to deliver to customers better value, more consistent value at higher quality. Is something that I think is easy to get passionate about, and fortunately our whole organization has got quite passionate about that. But at a deeper level, beyond the sort of the corporate umbrella, I think I've still got work to do, honestly. And I'm about to enter into a phase now where I think I'm gonna spend some real time figuring that out. What's the next?
That's fascinating. I'm so appreciative of your honesty. So your personal purpose is going to evolve. That's what your gut tells you. I mean, you're going to go into a new phase in the next few months. You move on. You're not retiring, I don't think, per se. You're moving to a new phase, and you think discovering a deeper sense of purpose is going to be part of that.
No, absolutely, it is, and I'm trying to. I know what motivates me around impact, and I'm passionate about South Africa, passionate about South Africa's well-being, and wanting to make it a great place for my children and to live in. And I'm also clear on the sort of fields that I'm passionate about. And but the bit I haven't figured out yet is, if I do the triangulation of my skill sets, my areas of passion and where they can have impact, I want to still glue that together a little bit more concretely before I'm comfortable that I've set that direction. And I'd like to think I've got sort of 10 to 15 years of energy and value add left. So spending a few months to figure that out is probably a good investment.
No, that's fascinating. So, I mean, obviously you have been purpose driven, but it's been so inextricably linked to the organization that you've been with for decades. And I guess a lesson there for me a little bit is that one can be so busy with a good purpose in an organization. I'm not sure you always have the time to break away and think deeply about this next stage of your life. A lot of people don't necessarily do that, and I wish you well with it. But I think it'll come together very quickly, and I hope it does.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Folks, that's Iain Williamson, currently the Group Chief Executive of Old Mutual, who just received the Successful Leader Award from Me Vision Academy, and as I said, nominated by Dr. Louise van Rijn. Iain, we wish you well in your next phase, and we need more leaders like you who are passionate about this country. We can't get enough of that because the country's got so much good in it, and we need good leadership everywhere. Thank you for your time today, and well done.
Thank you. Thanks, Roger. I really appreciate it.